Welcome back, everybody, to Cheers to Health. Again, you got me, the one, the only, the bad man, Brian Torres. And of course, I gotta have AJ, little man Tomlinson with me, my co host. And of course, Omar, that dude with the beard, that dude with the beer, Torres. Did I say Omar Torres? There you go. So let's get it started. Cheers to you, my friend. Again, you can cheer anything you guys want to. Caffeine, maybe some hydration here, or maybe a nice cold beer. Whatever you want to, we're here to cheers to you.
Yeah. So for today, we got a special guest. This is Ethan.
Yes, sir.
We've been buddies
Yeah.
since 2010, 11. Sheesh, dude.
Yeah, something like that.
Tell us about you, man. What'd you do in the military, and what are you doing now?
Well, other than partying in the military, probably a little bit too much, but
Yeah.
I was a vehicle operator in the military, so drove anything from sedans all the way up to cranes, heavy machinery, buses, anything you can think of, 18-wheelers. So we did that, did a couple tours, one in Kuwait, one in Iraq. Stayed in for about 4.5 years and got out with the early release. They let us get out early, so had probably the best times in my life in the military. So had a great time.
Do you have your CDL? Do you do any
Nah,
driving now?
I let it go. There was that program where you could switch over and let it kind of go back to like Texas and get my license, but I never got it. I kind of got tired of driving, so.
Yeah.
I hear you.
That happens, dude. I used to drive from Virginia to North Carolina. Dude, that stuff for the birds, man. Too much driving.
It's too much.
And then I drive from Virginia to Oklahoma every
That's
year.
unreal.
Like, dude.
How did you get into this, starting your lifestyle of being active or anything? Did it was it back in high school with sports or in the military or?
Probably in the military, I kind of got introduced to it. You kind of get forced into
Yeah.
it. But man, I hated it at first, but I came to actually enjoy PT. It was kind of a release, of stress. I remember I came damn close to the base record for the mile and a half. I think I hit it at,
Oh,
I
wow.
think it was like 7. I don't want to get lying
Hell
here, but I
nah.
think it was like 7:37 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was inside that gym on that track. But yeah, I mean, I was probably in the best shape of my life when I was in the military. Kind of got out, let it kind of slide down, kind of got lax. But now, with my job, it's kind of, you're forced to move around all day long. You're carrying, probably 40 pounds of gear on you constantly. So I try to stay active as much as I can, but with the 4-year-old at home, it gets stressful.
Yeah. And you're a cop now?
Yeah, I've been doing that for 9 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so pretty much I got out of the military, and then I got a job working in the oil field, and that was amazing. I had never seen a paycheck like that in my life.
Yeah. No, I was about to say that fucking money will do it for you.
And then that oil field crash came in, like probably 3 months after I started, and they started laying everybody off, and obviously the first ones to go are the new guys. So
Yeah.
I kind of moved on from that and went by the local police department and asked if they were hiring, and I ended up actually, I guess, walking into the chief maybe at his lunchtime or something. He met me in the lobby, and I kind of had an interview there on the spot with him, and then he decided to go ahead and put me through the academy. So I did that for a while, and then I just made detective last year, so it's been pretty awesome.
Right on.
Yes. That's awesome, dude.
So how long was y'all's academy?
It's about 6 months.
Okay.
So it can range from like 6 months, or if you do the night portion, because I know some people, they can't afford to go to school, full time. Luckily, my wife she was super supportive. It was rough whenever I went to the academy because I was getting paid maybe, I think it was like $400 a week. So it was pretty rough, but I know a lot of people can't do that, so they do the night school. That takes about a year to do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is that like a full day where
Right
you have
on.
to just do some paperwork and then do
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of
You
drills and stuff,
you
or?
you get there, you do some sort of PT, um, and then you kind of get into your books and classwork and studying laws, and that's the
Mhm.
biggest portion of it is just basically knowing your laws and knowing what's criminal and what's civil. So you can do the job properly.
Yeah,
Right.
they want to make sure you don't
Mm-hmm.
slip up, end up in the news or something.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
I think that's every
Oh
cop's
yeah,
worst fear. I know that's my wife's worst fear is me ending up on the news. So, but I mean, as long as you go into it with not a chip on your shoulder and get into it for the right reasons, there's it's like any profession, man. There's plenty of good cops and there's also bad cops,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to the
Yeah.
good cops to notice the bad cops and take care of that situation before these situations you see on the news arise. You know, I've been in some shit, here at the PD, and
hmm
I won't get into it too much, but it was justified. But at the same point, it's scary being on that side because you don't know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
the culture right now is there's such a clash right now with law enforcement and the public that unfortunately we have a black eye. So we're trying to mend those fences and mend those relationships with people in the community. So it's going to be a process, but
yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
And I see that kind of like a hard thing to kind of
Mm-hmm.
overcome, where like you're trying to do the right thing, but you also don't want to be caught in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's a catch-22, man, because you want to do the right thing, but then you have to be cognizant and be safe, because if you're trying to be too nice sometimes, and
100%.
sometimes nice will
hmm
get you hurt. So
Yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're professional, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Just treat
Yeah.
everybody with respect and don't go into it and say, I always try to make sure that nothing's ever personal. It's a job. And you have to see the other aspect of it. If you're taking somebody to jail, you're taking that person away from their family. So I try to see it from their
Yeah.
aspect too. That helps a lot.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And that's the same thing whenever I
Yeah.
train people. I mean, I don't try to just be like, "Oh, this piece of something like lazy, blah blah." No, I try to like look at it as like
Yeah.
there's reason behind it. Like, why are they not being active? Maybe they have some kind of obstacle. And that's another
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm doing this is because, I want people to see different perspectives on like what they're going through might be difficult, but somebody else might have it worse. So there's always kind of ways to stay
Dude,
active.
I saw a deal the other day. It's be kind to everybody because you don't know what they're going through. So, and I try to take that with me every day because I have struggles, but then you also have to look at everybody else. You don't know what they're struggling with at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. That's kind of like a big thing coming up through the military is like, you're talking to somebody, you get to know them a little bit, but then like you, the more you learn, you realize like, oh, they came up a lot different than I did.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
like I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
like the way like us four were brought up being from South Texas, it was probably pretty similar. But like you meet somebody that's from California or even Pennsylvania or whatever, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, but
Like, life's a lot
I think
different.
the military
People are
did a
just
good job
different.
of teaching people. I'd never met anybody from California before. I went to basic training. I never met anybody from New
Yeah.
York, anything. But you get that bond with each other because you're all in the suck together. I remember,
Mm-hmm.
the TI coming in starts chunking stuff, and the guy from California is just the same guy from Texas. You guys just have different upbringings, but you're
Yeah.
all in the shit
Yeah.
together. So
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing
Yeah.
about the military, kind of forcing you in that position and make you realize, like,
yeah,
hey, we're all the same. We're all the same.
yeah.
That's cool. So
Mm-hmm.
what made you like even think to go into the police department, dude? Like we're like what you went to the oil field and then it was like a complete different direction where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
now I'm doing this.
Dude, I think I missed the adrenaline, man. I missed the rush. I was sitting at home one day and was just like, well, what could I? I'd gotten out because I was a little bitter with the military. And I got out and was just like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing. But unfortunately, when we were getting out, they tell you, don't claim anything because you'll never be able to get a job. And they say, oh, okay, well, we're gonna help you out with getting you a job, but they didn't. So I kind of got out and was on my own. But then I was thinking, I got to find something that's stable. And I was like, well, when I got left from the oil field, I was like, well, that wasn't pretty stable. So I was like, what's the next stable job? And all I could think of was being a cop. And I was like, I think I'm going to give that a shot. So, and I gave it a shot, and 9 years later, here I am. So I was like, well, I guess that worked out. So
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you're loving it. I can see.
I do. Yeah, I love it. There's rough days, dude, but there's rough days
Yes.
at every job. So
Yeah.
my deal is as long as
Mm-hmm.
I keep um, going up and looking at, promoting and looking at the good that we're doing in the community, that helps out a lot, man. But there are rough days, man. But as long as you have a good support system with, friends, family, and
There you go.
everything, you'll be all right. Because I said keeping your mental health in check is probably the most important thing. I mean, especially
Yeah.
y'all coming
Yeah,
out of the
absolutely. And we,
military and y'all understand mental health is rough. It's definitely something you need to check up on people. And I never handled my mental health the right way for years, uh, and I lost a couple buddies that didn't. Right after I got out, I
Mhm.
got a call one time and it was like, "Hey, your buddy Wolf killed himself," and I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" And yeah, he just offed himself, and um, I think it was 3 months later, uh, his best friend killed himself too. So you just never know,
Yeah.
man, and it's usually the happiest person
Yeah.
in the
Right.
room.
And that is one of the things that we did
Mm-hmm.
hit on with Chris as well, is like through the military, like you're saying, it's kind of hard to kind of, you get into this zone where, everybody's cool and whatnot, but there's also another side where, people kind of keep to themselves. Maybe they're having like a bad time during the holidays or whatever it is, or maybe something just happened that we don't know about, but they act like perfectly normal. That's just, it sucks, man. It sucks, but we just got to check on everybody. Like, if somebody you feel like really well and you're like kind of off, you're like, hey man, how's it going? Are you
Mm-hmm.
doing all right? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Just checking in on people. Definitely the big thing.
Yep. And Ethan, also with what Omar's saying there, what advice or what would you say to somebody who maybe is dealing with a hard time or struggling with mental health and just getting through the days? Because I know some days it could be one day, some day it could be a week. Where you're just struggling. What would you
Dude,
say to somebody? Or how would you go about overcoming that?
I'd say, man, look forward to anything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I know Omar and me, we partied it up, man, and we had
Yep.
some good times, but I didn't realize what I was doing with alcohol. Um, and I was basically numbing everything away, not handling
Yeah.
it, not manning up and handling the mental health stuff that I needed to. And it was toxic, man. I almost lost my marriage, almost lost my family, and it took a while for me to finally realize, and then finally something just snapped, and it's like, hey, you got to get a hold of this, or you're gonna lose everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm almost 2 years sober. Um,
There we go. Congrats.
yeah. So, but my best advice for anybody is find somebody who understands. And second, set a goal for yourself, a small goal. So set something that you know that you can accomplish each day.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on out, start setting bigger goals for yourself and bigger goals. Um, when I started with my sobriety, man, I knew it was something I wanted to do. It was something that I tried to do for so long. I would fail each time. I'd be like, I'm going to quit drinking for 3 days, start drinking again. Then it would be like I'd make excuses. Well, I'm only gonna have 3 beers. 3 beers would turn into 6 beers. Um, but then when I started, this last time go round, luckily my wife, I guess she kind of saw something was different this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit a week. I set myself up for a week, and I was like, oh man, I've made it farther than I ever did. And then it was more of a competition with myself and my mental health. It was like, how far can I get with this? So a week turned into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turned into a month, and then what really helped me was posting on social media, because I got that reassurance back from friends to tell me to keep going. But then I got a lot of people that were messaging me saying how much my my struggle and my journey and me being open about it was helping their cause.
Yep,
So, and
absolutely.
that did wonders, man.
Yep.
I got a couple buddies of mine who they started getting sober and they fell off, and they'll call me and be like, "Hey, I want to try again." And we'll sit there for an hour or two and we'll talk about it. Hey, well, why'd you fall off? Well, finances. I was stressed. I just wanted a beer. But now I'm drinking, heavily again. But
Yep.
man, definitely don't lean on alcohol. Don't lean on substances. Lean on friends. Lean on family. But like I said, the best advice I would ever say is be willing to be open. Be
Well, there you
open with
go.
somebody, because man, I'm not gonna lie. I got in some really dark places, man, when I got out of the military.
Yeah.
Like really, really dark. I lost Wolf to suicide, and then I kind of got to that place of, well, you know, would it fix everything if I just wasn't here? And that's a scary place to be, man. Luckily, I mean, I still have, wild thoughts and still deal with depression and anxiety on a daily basis, man. But I think the main deal with me is seeing my family happy with me. So that keeps me going, man.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Heck
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
man. Well, congrats on all that, man.
I
Looks like you're
appreciate
Yeah,
it,
man,
doing
that's
man.
great
awesome.
and moving
That's
in the right
definitely
That's
direction.
sick.
So awesome.
yes, man.
Congratulations on that. And then also, congratulations again on the detective part. Do you have
Appreciate it.
any other promotions or goals you have in mind moving forward? Maybe not even work, or maybe, working out more often, or
Yeah,
just
no.
anything in
So
general?
so that's my goal this year.
Mm-hmm.
Omar, I worked out a lot when I was in the military. Um, I go to the gym with Josiah as much as I could get Josiah to go to the gym. I
Yeah.
take him to the
Boo,
gym.
Josiah.
Yeah.
Boo.
I was like,
We don't like
"Come on,
Josiah.
let's go to the gym," and he'd be like, "No, no, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch, TV, And I'm like, "Come on, let's get out of the house, man. Let's go to the gym." But I want to start doing that again.
There we go.
There's a gym literally downstairs from my office, and I pass it every day, and I'm like, "Why don't you just go in the gym, man?" Like,
Yeah.
so that's my goal this year is I've conquered the alcohol. I've got a hold on my mental health for the most part. So it's like, and I watch all these videos online, and it's like how to deal with depression and anxiety and stuff, and a lot of them are like, go to the gym, blow
Yeah.
off steam in the gym, set goals
Well,
for
I'm next.
yourself in the gym. So that's my goal this year, is to get back in
Yeah,
the gym.
absolutely.
Because it helps me out tremendously, man.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yep.
And just like anything else, one day at a time, brother.
Exactly. The same thing you said. Small goals.
Yeah,
Don't
Yes,
small
expect
sir.
to
goals,
go in
man.
there.
Yeah, you can't
Yes,
be
and
expecting to
that's
throw up
exactly.
315 on your first day,
No,
You gotta be
not gonna
ready
No,
to
I
happen.
load
can't.
up those little quarters on the side and just rep that smooth and slow, achievable stuff.
I think a lot of people's, I'd say the reason that they don't want to go to the gym is, first off, the shame,
Hmm.
of
Yep.
not being able to put up 350, and then they just don't know where to start. So they don't know how to do the workouts, so they don't want to try the
Yeah.
workouts.
Mm-hmm.
But you can learn anything you want on TikTok and YouTube.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
search out how to. I mean,
100%.
it's amazing. I do restoration stuff all the time in my garage, and if I don't know how to do something, I'll search it on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and figure it out. But the the tutorials and the information is there. You just have to, like I said, make that small
Yeah.
goal. Hey, I'm gonna go to the
Yeah.
gym today, and I'm gonna walk on the treadmill, and I'm gonna walk half a mile.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then tomorrow,
I've been there.
I'm gonna walk, a mile. And you start at the end of the week, I'm gonna run half a mile. You start there. I never thought that I'd be able to run a 7.5 minute mile. But I definitely couldn't do that today. I can tell you that. That
You
ain't
and me
gonna
both.
happen
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So, but you said small goals. I got goals for myself to just go get back in shape and get healthy for my son because
Mhm.
I chase him around the yard. I get tired after 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I don't want to be that. I'm 33 years old. I shouldn't be getting tired chasing a 4-year-old around.
Mhm.
So
100%. And we've
Yep.
all been there, man. We've all had to start over. Shoot, I take a
hell
month
yeah,
off or a week off, and it's like starting all
Yeah.
over. So, I mean, like I said, just start small and work your way up because a lot of folks, they try to come back like they never left, and then they end up
that's
hurting themselves or straining
yeah,
themselves, and like, no, just take it
that's the
easy, get
hardest
back in the
part.
groove of things.
Whenever you
Yeah.
stop and you take that month off, and then you
Hmm.
try to get back on that horse, and it's rough to try to start back up
Yeah.
and get back
Oh,
into
yeah,
that
absolutely.
routine.
But it's
But yeah, no
possible,
lies.
everybody.
Yeah, you
So
try
get
to go
up.
back in there and do exactly what you were doing before, and it don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest motivation, um, for me, like staying in the gym and staying fit, is to stay whooping up on these guys, but
Yeah,
also never let my kids beat me at anything ever.
yeah,
So
yeah. You messaged me before we got on here, and you said you were getting the kids. I was getting my ass whooped by a pillow fight I was having with my 4-year-old before bed. So I get exactly where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah.
hmm
I just went
or
and
yeah,
played tennis with my niece, and she's getting pretty good. And I was like, okay, we got to cut this. I got to start playing tennis more often.
Yeah, shoot,
Not
I got
cool.
I got pretty good at racquetball when we were in the military. They had those courts over there at
Yeah.
Langley.
that's
Uh,
true. I picked up pickleball,
oh yeah,
so I've been getting it.
they actually built a
So Brian,
pickleball court in our city, like right. I can see it from my window of my office. And the guy that is in the office next to me, we always have a joke. I'm like, hey, they're out there pickling, So it's usually older people in the morning, so we watch them sometimes. But yeah, I was gonna try to get into that. But you got to have a
hmm
It's
certain
fun.
special paddle, right?
Yeah.
It,
yeah, I rent mine. So it's
is it
just like,
is it basically like large scale ping pong?
yep,
Okay,
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in between tennis and ping pong,
but you have to have
but
two
you can
players
hit.
on each side.
You can have
I
one
think they got
Okay,
singles. I
on each
think they
side.
got singles too.
hmm
Yeah, I don't know. I
It's
never
pretty
played it.
fun.
I never
yeah,
even heard of it until like four
I'm gonna have
months
to give it
ago.
a shot.
So
Dude, I
Run it.
saw on TV the other day they had some big huge ESPN tournament, the pickleball
Yeah, it's
tournament.
getting
So
pretty big.
it's getting pretty
You're
big.
gonna see me on there. I'll be there next
All
And
year.
right,
then I'll be having to come in and break Omar's heart and freaking just.
It's not gonna
Can you
happen.
spike it in there? What can you do?
What do you mean?
Like I'm gonna hit the ball so hard it's gonna go off your
Oh
forehead,
yeah.
and then I'm gonna win. Can you
No.
do that?
So that happened to me. Well, kind of
It's
like
gonna happen again.
these
So at
kids
least you're
rolled
used
up.
to it.
These kids rolled up. They're 18 and 16. They wanted to play me and my buddy doubles. They fucked us up, dude. And then there was one time where the dude freaking slammed it and hit my paddle, and it was like, oof. I was like, what the?
so
I
Yo, it
appreciate
went
the
oof.
honesty.
you have to go return. You have to go return your rented equipment and get back in your minivan and drive away.
Yep,
I'm out of
exactly.
here. Fuck you,
Fucking
kids.
loser.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
It's no, it wasn't cool, dude. Okay, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show them what's up. Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
back.
You have to
So
video it
Ethan,
for us.
so you're doing this cop stuff, detective now,
Hmm.
and you have a family, and you do restoration, dude. How do you balance all this, man? How you manage all this?
I guess I stay busy, man. That's one of the deals with my like depression and anxiety. You stay busy. You don't have time to
Mhm.
think about it. So if you sit in a room by yourself long enough, you'll start hearing those demons
Yeah.
coming through again. So you stay busy on something. Find something you like to do, whether it's pickleball or mine's taking old antique machines or redoing furniture, taking them apart and figuring out how they work and putting them back together. Uh, but that's relaxing to me. My wife thinks I'm crazy, and she's always pissed off whenever I bring home an arcade game or something. She's like, "Why? Why are you bringing that in?" Uh, but yeah, you just got to stay busy. So uh, especially during the winter, I kind of stay home. But during the summertime, that's another one of my goals is to be a little bit more active with my son. I want to show him, hey, especially with the world the way it is today, these kids. Shoot, my son, he watches other kids on YouTube play with toys,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I saw that. I
why?
Yep.
saw that.
Like, I
Yep.
bought you the toy. Well, he's like, no, I have the toy, but I'm watching this kid play with it. So I want to
Yeah.
get him, because when I was a kid, my parents would be like, hey, in the summertime, go outside. I was outside all
Yeah.
day
Hmm.
and all day. And I hear my mom still in my ears now, her yelling because the street lights were coming
Yeah.
on. And, you got to get back inside. But we played in the creek. We did all kinds of stuff we weren't supposed to do. If my mom knew half the places I was at like 13 years old,
Yeah.
playing in
Almost
some
fell in the
farmer's
creek one time.
field, but I want him to have that kind of childhood and not be stuck in front of a screen. Because frankly, I'm a little worried because, that's the way that it's going to go these days. I mean, I just saw something online. It's that new Apple, what is it?
Oh.
The goggles. Have you
Hmm.
seen that?
I don't know what it's all about, but I saw little clips here and there.
So they got goggles that you can wear that
Oh, okay.
they're basically transparent, so you can see where you're walking and you can see everything. But like you can have a like the basketball game here and your Gmail account and all
That's
these
What the?
dangerous.
deals. Yeah, it's insane.
Watching
Um,
a movie.
yeah, and I was actually talking to my wife about it the other day, and I said, "You think they'll make these illegal to drive with? Because I could be watching the game while I'm driving because you can technically see,
Yeah.
but."
Well, by then they'll probably have electric cars where they'll just drive you everywhere. Anyway, so.
I think electric cars are on their way out.
Oh
Yeah.
You think
yeah.
That's
so?
what
Yeah,
it's looking like.
they're not. Well, they had that huge snowstorm this year up
Oh,
north,
okay, yeah, I heard that,
and
yeah.
they couldn't get any of them to start up. And then
Yeah.
now in California, they're having all that flooding. They can't even start a Tesla in all that water to
Hmm.
even move them. So it was a good idea, bad execution.
Yeah.
Especially here in Texas. I mean, there's only one charging station here in the city I live in.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't think it's very efficient right now.
No,
Yeah.
because where does that energy come from?
But yeah, going back to
No
your
heat.
question, stay busy, man. That's my deal. Is I try to balance it, but then sometimes I do find myself secluding myself away in the garage, working on those projects. So I have to remember to bring myself back out of that and put
Yep.
myself back into the family role.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, so that's probably the hardest part about it.
Mm-hmm. Sames. Cause I get like all these little projects that the wife has me doing, um, and then I get it like in the zone. And I'm like, dude, I gotta knock this out. I gotta get it done. If I don't get it done now, I don't know when I'm gonna get it done. So it's a mission. And then you get lost and you're like, oh, I'm missing out on like
Hmm.
this or this. But yeah, going back to the getting the kids outside, dude. I kicked these turds out this past weekend. I saw them watching TV while I was cleaning up. I was like, that's enough.
Just snuck
And
back
it
in or
started
what?
snowing too. I was like, get your snowsuits on, let's go. And they were out there forever, dude. They were just having a good time, just playing.
Well, good.
Like,
Yeah.
there you go.
How old are they
That's
now?
my 4 and 7. He just turned 7 this past
4 and
month.
7. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I everybody had told me, hey, enjoy this time because it's gonna fly, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But man, where the
Yep.
Oh
time
yeah.
is
Yeah.
gone. That was another big pusher and regret is my drinking cost me the first 2 years of my son's life of not being present. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was there, but I wasn't. I was
Absolutely.
always looking for. My wife would be like, "Hey, can we go do this with, our son Ruxton?" And I said, "Yeah." But I'd always be looking at where I could go get a beer.
Yep.
Hey, did they have beer there?
Yeah.
And I missed a lot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I'll never get back. So I think I'm kind of playing catch up
Mm-hmm.
now. And she's like, "Hey, you spoil the crap out of him," and I'm like, "Well, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, I missed out on
Yep.
a lot."
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
doing better than
And we
most, and
get
not most, but
oh,
some. a lot of
Yeah,
guys that don't
Oh
have
yeah,
that
dude.
figure in
Yep.
their life at all.
Yes.
So like, I definitely wouldn't be beating
100%.
yourself, or not even beating yourself, but thinking too much about it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it
Oh
definitely helps
yeah.
out at work, man. Is having that experience and getting this to talk to people. Especially sometimes there's people you take to jail that just talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything you take people to jail for is violent. I have a
Mm-hmm.
guy that I hope he gets it together, man. I've taken him to jail 3 times for PI. Um, Old military guy, and each time I take him in, I'm like, dude, why do we keep doing this? When are
Mm.
you gonna get it figured out? And he's like, I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying. But sometimes I see that guy was me,
Hmm.
so I understand where he's coming from, and he's got a lot of stuff that he's just not dealing with. But I think the other deal is the VA just isn't equipped enough to handle the amount of veterans that are having issues,
Mm-hmm.
upstairs. I just now started working on all my VA stuff, and just to see the process of the way the VA is, and a lot of people bash the VA and the workers there, and some of the people there probably shouldn't be working at the VA, but for the most part, those people are in it for the good reasons. But they're just understaffed.
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah.
enough people to handle. I mean, you're talking about all these people that got out after the Iraq War, and there's still backlogs on the people from the Gulf War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we'll get somebody in office that'll, fix that,
Yeah. That's
for
whenever
us.
I was transitioning out, that's one of the things that they told us. Like, don't get discouraged or upset with the VA because they're still backlogging. They told us guys from Vietnam and in the first Gulf War and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if they don't get back to you in a timely manner, keep in contact with them, but don't get pissed. And so
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
sitting. I was sitting at my appointment. I had an appointment 2 weeks ago, for my back, and I was sitting there, and there was a guy, a Vietnam vet, and I said, "Well, what are you here for?" "Oh, I just filed for my disability." And I'm like, "This dude's from Vietnam,
yeah,
vet," and I was like, "You're just now filing?" He's like, "Well, yeah, but they told me that they're backlogged." I'm like, you
Jeez.
know,
He should
so
be on top of the.
yeah, hopefully they'll
Yeah.
get
Yes.
it together, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good people that work there, but it's just like
yeah.
it's
Just the
frustrating.
manpower and the
It's
system, whatever,
mhm.
all that kind of stuff kind of plays into effect with it. I haven't done anything
Yeah,
with it. I don't
Oh yeah.
really care to, so kind of over all that stuff.
yeah. I mean, I encourage everybody at least just go get that VA healthcare. I mean,
Dude,
because that's free.
do it.
You don't. It's not even
Yeah.
the disability stuff. It's free healthcare, man. You get a headache or something like that, or you got something going on with your back or something like that. You just call them and say, hey, can I make an appointment? And usually those general appointments you can get in pretty
Mm.
quick at your local VA
Once you
clinic.
start getting all the medical bills, AJ, then you're like, wait, hold on, let me go back and
Mm-hmm.
see
Dude, I
Yeah,
about
got
this
another
VA
cool
stuff
government
here.
job.
Hold
All
up.
right, let's pump the brakes here.
Oh yeah.
that's true.
So what did you? What's the job again,
I'm
AJ?
a carpenter on Tinker Air Force Base. Yeah,
Okay. Look at that.
Where's
it's
Tinker?
in Oklahoma City, Midwest City.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just doing a
Sweet.
lot of construction, basically.
Doing
Not a lot
stuff.
of woodworking or carpentry, actually, just construction in general. But it's cool so far.
What'd you What'd you do while you were in the
I
military?
was a builder in the Navy. I was a CB.
Dude.
Okay. Oh, so you went to Fort Leonard
No,
Wood
I
too?
went to Gulfport, but the EOs that go to Leonard Wood, we get stationed with
Yeah,
them and stuff. So like, I just I, I didn't work with them, but I was stationed with them and stuff.
yeah. That's sweet, man.
This this dude was getting deployed in
Yeah,
Spain.
I did 3
What?
deployments to Spain. It was cool
Wow.
the first time.
So while I was in,
Yeah, the second time and the
Yeah,
third, you're
the
like, all right,
second
I
time
want to
was
be back.
COVID, and the third time I only had like less than a year in, so I was like, dude, I'm fucking over this.
Yeah, I hear that, man.
yeah, we
Where are
went
you
and
at
visited
now,
him.
Omar?
I'm over in Colorado, dude.
You like
Oh,
it there?
Colorado. Yep. Oh, dude, time out
He
before I
doesn't like
forget.
it.
What's up?
What'd you say?
Say he doesn't like it. But go ahead. What were
Hello.
you saying?
No, I was gonna thank you, Ethan.
Yeah.
So this was a long time ago.
Uh-oh.
You probably don't remember, but we were at a concert. I forgot what concert it was, but we were leaving, and me and
Uh-oh.
Kelsey got into a little tussle.
Yeah.
Some lady took my hat, and she made a big deal of it, and I was like, dude, this is done. I'm not this. It's we're over.
I remember
But
that.
Ethan was like, no, dude, you can't leave this girl. She's a good girl. Blah blah blah. I was like, dang, you're right, dude. And look where I'm at now.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
Ethan.
Hey, everything works out for a reason. I think I told you that night. So, dude, I envied your relationship whenever we were in the military, man. You had something a lot of people in the military couldn't find. You know, there's a lot of people that were just reaching for relationships because you're constantly moving around. But dude, y'all had it, man. Um, so it's great to see y'all still together, kids living the family life, living a happy life,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what concert
And
that was. Where were we at? Were we in
We
Virginia
went to
Beach
so
or
many
were we in
concerts, bro.
dude? So many concerts. That's
It
one
Yep.
was a
thing I
Justin
miss
Bieber
about
concert.
Virginia Beach and that area.
Oh yeah.
Was it a Bieber concert?
No, it was not a
I know,
Bieber
because I
concert,
remember because
dude.
I wanted to go, and you guys were like, no, you're not allowed to.
I was gonna say,
You
Okay, so
could go.
whatever.
no, it was. Man, who was it?
So
Dude was.
we went to Jason Aldean. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
that
Taylor
one.
Swift.
And then
No, we didn't catch.
we went to Brantley Gilbert,
Yep.
and then we went to Kip Moore. That we always went to that
Mm.
Patriotic Fest on the beach. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this one was at
It was at the.
Fort Monroe.
No, it was. It was at the. I'm pretty sure it was at the other one, at the BA Beach. The one at Fort Monroe, I think that was a Kip Moore one.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah, dude.
Dude,
Thank you.
I'm happy for you, dude. Ecstatic. It's always great to
We're
see
happy for you, Ethan. You've
all
come
of
a
our.
long way,
yeah.
man.
I appreciate it, man. It's just great to see
Yeah.
everybody doing good.
Yeah,
So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Oh yeah. Dude, we're gonna have you and Chris on here one of these times, and you know,
dude,
shoot the shit and stuff.
Just
let's
no
do it.
Josiah. No
It's
Josiah.
funny that no Josiah, dude. I haven't talked to him in a while, man. But it's funny. I was just talking to my wife, you know, because I was kind of looking at trying to help people out more this year, and kind of spreading the love that I got, you know, while I was getting sober. Um, but I guess my biggest deal was you have to make the decision yourself. Nobody
There you
can.
go.
I mean, dude, my wife, she bless her heart, dude. She stuck around for a lot of shit that she probably shouldn't have stuck around for. Um, but she begged and begged and begged and begged and begged for me to change. But until you make the decision to change, ain't no amount of
There you
begging
go.
Yeah,
gonna help it. So
absolutely.
it's funny that you asked me about a podcast because I was actually talking to her and I was like, I want to do a podcast. I was like,
Hey.
I want to start a mental health podcast for
Oh
There
yeah.
you
men
go.
and dads, like, you know, whatever they may be struggling with, maybe it be, you know, getting irritated with their kids or
Mm-hmm.
not feeling, you know, up to the challenge of being a dad, or, you know, even if it's just regular, just mental health stuff like that. But dude, and then you messaged me a couple days later, and I was like, huh. I told her, I said, look at
Yeah.
this.
Oh.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
Omar
Look
wants
at
me to
that.
be on a podcast. So
Yeah, dude. Warmed up.
Yeah,
Warmed
no,
yeah,
we'll
up.
definitely have to
But
touch
yeah,
base
we.
back with it, everything. And if, later on, see how,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
your fitness, getting back into that. And then just,
yes,
talking
yes,
about mental health and everything, how things are going with
If you
the
have any
fam and
questions on
stuff.
that, dude, hit me up.
I will. I will definitely hit you up.
Um, but yeah, that's what this podcast is kind of about. It's a broad
Yep.
generalization, but it's more like with health, fitness, because it all intertwines. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have all that to kind of build on and make like overall well-being, dude. That's gonna help with the mental health,
Yeah.
physical health,
Hmm.
going there, feeling better about yourself, confidence level, all that stuff, man. So yeah, definitely. Um, I know me and Brian talk about mental health a lot, and try to get this guy on board, but we'll get him one day. Um,
Still
but yeah,
young.
dude, definitely important. I mean,
Yeah,
even if it's not nothing too big, all these little things will pile up. Like with me,
Absolutely.
dude, I'm a real like chill dude. I'm patient, but things chip at me, and then you
eventually
know
it'll send you over the
exactly.
edge.
So having somebody to
And then I
talk
have
to,
to go and
whether
whoop
it's
his ass, and it's just like
Hmm.
not fair to me.
he can't do
It's
that.
not fair.
He can't do that. But yeah,
That I have
talking
to
to
go with
somebody,
his ass
whether
like
it's a
every day.
therapist or a friend, dude, we're having a serious thing right now.
Y'all are gonna have to
Sorry.
take it to the. Y'all gonna have to take it to the pickleball court.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No, he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. Yeah.
maybe tennis court.
Mm-hmm. No.
Hey,
You can't slam it as hard with that.
if I was still drinking, I'd challenge y'all to some beer pong because
Ooh,
there was
that's right.
no
He was.
one that could beat me and Josiah on the beer pong
Don't let
table.
me get my guy Anthony in here,
Man,
dude. We was on the table
we would run that.
running it.
Dude, I remember when we'd invite people over to those house parties, and it was usually those college kids from the college campuses, and they'd come in and think they could play beer pong, and we just demolished them
Yeah.
constantly. Uh, those poor kids.
Yeah, definitely some good times.
That's true. But Chris is actually stationed about an hour away from me, so I see him every now and then, and
Really?
we kick it every now and then. And then Josiah, he's on my fantasy football league, so we talk every now and then. While I was in Germany, and he was stationed over in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
he visited one time, and we hung out, played beer pong and darts and stuff. But yeah, dude,
Yeah, I
you're
don't know
you're
if you
good at
remember. You remember Wilson?
yes.
Yeah, he actually, my wife, was it last year? Maybe last year, or the year before last. I don't know. She surprised me for my birthday, dude. This dude came knocking at the door. I was like,
Mm.
what are you doing here, dude? Like, you're supposed to be in Florida. So yeah, it's just it's wild, and it's a good time to see people that you
Oh
spent
yeah.
so much time
Yeah.
with, um, and that was your family, dude. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I didn't get the chance to go home for the holidays, so it
Mm-hmm.
was hanging out with buddies from the military, and we made the best of it.
Yeah.
You know, having potluck dinners. You know, everybody brings something, and you know this is going to be Christmas this year. This is going to be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, man, those some of the best friends in my life are still from the military. You know,
Oh yeah.
so and you guys included, man. I mean, it's great that we can reconnect and still have these deep conversations, meaningful conversations. Um, but yeah, no, I like I said, I appreciate everything. I mean, I know we got into some shit back in the military. You know, you held me accountable just as much as I've held you accountable. So um, it's been a whirlwind since the military, but I wouldn't trade it for no reason.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, this is what the podcast is for, man. For having those conversations, whenever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just if anybody wants to get on and just let it out, man. We're glad that you came on here and were able to tell your story a little bit, man. Great
Yes.
story and very very inspiring. I was very I felt that especially you going through all your mental health issues and you're still sober. So that's a great thing, man. It's a daily struggle. Trust me, I get it, man. So every day
Yeah,
is a new day, brother. So keep on keeping on, brother.
Keep on
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
keeping on.
Absolutely.
Yes. Dude, thank you for coming on.
Dude,
Boom. Thank you.
anytime.
Yeah.
Boom.
Dude,
I,
it was
Boom.
great.
I'll come back anytime y'all
Yeah. No,
ask,
we for
man.
sure
Oh
will.
yeah.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
all
Cheers
right.
to
Yeah.
health.
Cheers to
Cheers
health.
to health.
Oh yeah. I'm working out too, so it's my dumbbell.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
feel like I was catching a cold or something.
8 ounce curls.
There you go. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Y'all
Yeah, you
take care,
too.
man.
Yes,
Appreciate
you
it.
take care, Ethan. Again, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing health and have a great one, brother. Stay
All right,
strong.
y'all take care.
Yeah.